So back in June 3rd of 2020, I decided I was going to make a YouTube video about watches, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, but I figured, you know what? I'll just start with, well, the first watch I've ever owned, and that was this 1975 Bradley, which is this Mickey Mouse watch, which I got for my 6th birthday. And, you know, it didn't have that many views at the time, and it was mostly friends and family saw, and they thought it was kind of cute and fun, and I started trying to do a video once a week. And then after a while, I got kind of bored and didn't realize actually how much work there was into making a video and then doing the editing and posting and everything else. And even just the general setup it takes a long time. And I started to get a real respect for YouTubers. So I did about a 2-year hiatus. And then I started doing videos on bags of broken watches. And those videos really took off. Now it's 2024 and I have just reached 500 subscribers, and I am humbled by this. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot when you see other YouTube video guys and they have like million subscribers and so on and so forth, but 500 is huge. And I remember, I think it was like either the first or second video I did on bags of broken watches. One of the comments was, "Oh, that's fake. You already know these watches. You're just throwing them in a bag." And I remember my response to it was basically, "Yeah, dude, I only have 60 followers, so I'm not really gaining a lot here." Now I have 500 subscribers, and I am really humbled by that. And I really want to thank everybody for, subscribing to it. I've met a lot of really cool people. I love the comments, love the discussions, and just a wonderful, wonderful community. So I want to thank you very much. And tonight, I got another bag of broken watches. My good friend Fred went out and he found it. Funny story, I went to Value Village. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I went to Value Village where this bag came from, and there was no bags there. And I asked the lady, I said, "Oh, you have a bag of broken watches at all, like behind the counter?" And she said, "Oh, a gentleman came in yesterday and picked them up." And I said, "Oh." And I said, "He wouldn't happen to look like this." And I described Fred. And she said, "That sounds exactly the way he looked, right?" So I was like, "Oh, Fred went out and got me a bag." And sure enough, today he sent me a message. He said, "Mark, there's a bag of broken watches in your truck." So here we go. Fred, you're the best. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And this looks like this is going to be a pretty interesting bag. So we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to put on my gloves. By the way, wristwatch check. I got on the Rolex look-alike from Elgin. Absolutely love this watch. Just so everybody knows, my Grail watch, as you hear a lot of people talk about, is the Rolex all gold, but I want it exactly like this one here. I don't know, unless something amazing happens. Because those watches are expensive. You guys sometimes check on eBay, and they're still expensive on eBay, and they only go up in value. But for now, I'm happy with my Elgin, which, by the way, did come out of a bag of broken watches. I can't remember which episode this one featured in. In fact, if I remember correctly, I don't think I really gave it much look. The watch itself is beautiful. The band that it came on was absolutely atrocious. It was terrible. It was this cheap metal band. So I made this custom leather band. It's kind of custom for my size fitting anyways. And they're not the best band, actually. This is pretty cheap as well. It is leather, which although it never really looked like it, but I love this watch, and because it kind of reminds me of what eventually one day I'd like to own. Although I do have to clean the Cyclops. The Cyclops is a little scuffed up. But anyways, enough of that. Got the gloves on. Got the bag. $12.99 seems to be the going price. Yeah, wow, that's getting kind of up there. But let's just see what's in here. So I'm going to move the bag off to the side to keep the focus working properly. So here we go. So the first one out of this bag, we have a no name. Wow. Well, speaking of cheap bands, wow, this really takes the cake. Look at that. That is really bad. But the hands are good. The dial actually doesn't. No, the dial's got some scuff up there. Oh my God, it's still working too. It's really interesting. when I was at Value Village, they have these watches that are broken but sitting in their display case. And I asked the girl that was working there, I'm like, these watches aren't working. And she said, yeah, they need the batteries. And I said to her, I said, you know, you can go to the dollar store and get a 377 battery for about $1.25, like a pack of 5 for about $1.75. And she said, yeah, I know, but they don't seem to be picking them up. So here they got one watch for $12.99 with the not working, sitting in their display case and not clean either. And here is it comes out of a bag, a working watch for $12.99, right? Yeah, $12.99. Odd. So interesting. So I'll put that aside. And a California. That's an interesting name for a watch. Never heard of that before. California. Made or designed in Canada. Probably made in China or something, but designed in Canada. Made in, oh, I'm wrong. Made in PRC. Is that the public? What is that? I wonder what PRC is. Now, if you know what PRC is, leave it in the comments below if you know what PRC is. I've never heard that. Obviously, geography is not one of my strong suits, but okay, well, that's... I never liked these bands. If this was one of these mesh bands with a clip, like with a normal clasp, I'd replate this and use it, but that's terrible. And then we have a Connex. I don't know. I like the black hands on that. Yeah, these small watches, I just can't get, I can't unload these small watches. They just don't sell. And we got a green monster here. Wow, that is green. This is something you'd wear on St. Paddy's Day, I think. I like the Mercedes hands with the red second hand there. Does that bezel even work? Oh, shoot, it does. Sounds like a 60 click. That actually doesn't have a bad action to it. Looks like it's like a no-name. Well, that's interesting. That's a plastic case. So far, then we have a Miller. Or Myler. Myler? Well, it's got a signed case back. I don't think that's stainless steel. It's a cheap watch, but well executed. I like the color of the dial. That's kind of cool. I don't think there's going to be much I can do with that. What's that? I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. Oh, Benetton by Bulova. Wow, that's interesting. That is kind of cool, actually. I like that. Benetton by Bulova. It's got a nice leather band on it. I mean, it needs to be done up, but look at that. That's kind of a cool watch. I kind of like that. It's made by Bulova, so it's got the quality and everything. I hope it's not wrecked on the inside. Huh. Well, I'm going to put that off to the side. And what do we have here? Oh, look at that. Another watch that's running. That's an attractive looking watch, actually. Again, unfortunately, I can't... Ladies' watches just do not sell, but that is a really attractive looking dial on that. Japanese movement, I would believe... I believe that is... It's stainless steel, but maybe the case and the band are not stainless steel, but that's a really nice dial. Too bad that that's as a lady's watch. Oh, here we go. That's vintage. Olivia. Swiss made. The case is in really bad shape. Fully wound. Come on, baby. Let's go. Oh, well, that looks like that could be a problem. I'm just wondering if maybe the balance would be broken in that. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll put this one aside and I'll do an opening like I did with the other, the Crest and the Ideal watch. I'll open it up in front of everybody and just see what I can do with that. I don't know if the... Nope, there we go. Well, I can tell you the balance must be working. It just... Maybe it's just really dirty. Swiss made. Interesting. I'm going to put that aside. I'll open that watch up on camera so everyone can get a first glimpse of it to start with on another video. So keep an eye open for that. Here we got a, what is that? Calvin Hill. That's one of those ones where I bet, yeah, you can, oh, this thing's just falling apart on me here. Oh, I see. No, the band comes off when you take the thing off it. Okay, well, put that off to the side. Then we have, oh my God, that's a swatch. And it's working. Look at the second hand hit each numeral perfectly. That's a day date on that too, although the date looks a little misaligned. That swatch, all right. It's patent waters, swatch, Swiss, battery. How does that end up in a bag of broken watches? These are not cheap watches. That's really cool. Look at the dial on that too. I just don't like the fact that the date isn't lining up. So that's going to slip over to 4. Friday the 4th. There we go. Yeah, you see the date is something wrong with the date. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's really interesting. Let's see if I can clean that up. Unfortunately, with Swatch, these watches are sealed in, like the movement sealed right into the watch, so you can't repair them. I know some guys have tried, and you just can't get to the movement. So when there's something wrong, they're pretty tossable. The rest of this watch could be polished up if that date can be just reset or somehow. The rest of this watch can be cleaned up. It comes actually on a really good band. The band just, the leather just has to be oiled. That's nice. Okay, that's going on. So far we got 3 watches. That's awesome. And then we got, wow, that's a Timex. And it is running. Date. That is nice. Awful band. Awful band. Like, who puts a NATO on a, I don't know. Well, I guess you could, but that is running. You know, a real quick story. I get a lot of Timexes for repair. And the funny thing is when Timexes were originally marketed, they were literally purchased at a kiosk or gas stations for like next to nothing. Like, you know, I think back in the, say, the 1970s, maybe early 80s, they would be like maybe $10, $15. I know when they were coming out, they were like $7. And they were disposable. It's a long explanation, but they're disposable because the movement inside them is basically two main plates that are like either welded or screwed together. And then it's just the pivots sit right in the metal. So the gear pivots sit right in the metal, and then they basically wear out over time. So when they stop working, they were meant to be disposable. The problem is, and this is hats off to Timex, they built such a damn good watch that it ended up being like hand-me-downs. Like when a father would pass away or whatever, like the son would get the watch, and then literally they come to me saying, well, I'd like to get this watch serviced, and they were never meant to be serviced. Now, I did devise a way of servicing them, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe, like I'm on a lot of forums, and I think I know there was 2 other people in the States that had the exact same way I service a Timex. Like this kind of an old vintage Timex where you can't, they're supposed to be, that you can't service them. And there's like, I think, believe it or not, the 3 of us that can service a Timex. So I can actually, as long as the pivots on the main plates are not oblong due to overuse and then friction of the pin on the metal, if the pivots are still in decent shape, I can get one of these going and then regulated, not perfectly. Like, I mean, you know, gain or lose maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds a day, but I can get them pretty well regulated that you can wear them regularly. Only problem is that they were meant to be disposable, so you'll never have them for the rest of your life. But it's a lot of people that I do these type of services for Timexes. As long as it's running, they'll put it in a box as a keepsake. And I think that's fantastic. I really do. But Timex, like this thing has got to be from, well, it's got the newer logo on it. So I would say 80s, 1980s. It still has that 70s kind of look to it, but I'd say late 70s, early to mid 80s. I don't think it would be the 1990s, that's for sure. Just by the construction and the line going through the center of it and the type of hands, I would say 80s, late 70s to mid 80s this watch was made. And look at this thing go. Like, that is awesome. And that's a testimony to the quality of Timex. I'll tell you right now, because to consider that this was a disposable watch, this blows my mind that this thing is working that well. That case is shot, but I mean, the rest of it looks amazing. But you know, the thing is I have probably about 30 Timexes that are in various stages of repair, or some are being just used for parts. A lot of them, like I was saying, the main plate, the pivot holes for the gears are worn out, so there's no hope in hell you can get it to work. But I still keep them for the parts, and this one obviously just needs a nice case, a crystal polish, and that will be a lovely, lovely Timex. I love the look of this, especially the space between the day and the date. I think is incredible. Wow, what a cool find. That is so awesome, and just look at this thing go. That's incredible. Wow, it really excites me, that one. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Really lightly plated copper simplistic watch. Well, there's something to be said for that design. I'm going to put that over in the parts area. Okay, Okay. Just so you people know that I'm not pulling the same thing out of the same bag. Here we go. 2 of the identical watches. Either somebody really liked these type of watches, or that is really weird. That's interesting. Oh well, that's crazy. How often do you think that would happen? And we have a body gear Yeah, okay, that's nothing to talk about. And then we have a Spider-Man watch. You know, I've said this 100 times, and I'm going to say it again. When I used to do the flea market, these things would go like hotcakes. Like, it would be always amazed me how fast these watches would go. I would never sell it in this condition. I'd clean it right up so it was nicely polished and everything. The band is in really good shape, actually. I would sell that. Like, I'm going to keep this, and I'm telling you, I put this online, that would sell. I just got to clean it up a little bit because it's in pretty rough shape. Even the copper's coming through in a couple of parts, but that's okay. I'll put that off to the side. I wouldn't make much money on it. I mean, I'd only sell it for like $5 or something. But that's just a cheap quartz. Terrible. Now this looks like something. Cardinal? Yeah, that's a cardinal. Well, that's worth cleaning up. And what do we have here? A carriage. That's a common name. I think carriage is Timex, actually. We're getting down to the end of the bag here. Bulova. Now that's a vintage piece. Fully wound up. I doubt that works. I kid you not, I probably have 25 of these type of watches. And unfortunately, they just don't move. I tell you right now, if these ever came back in this style, I'd be laughing because I got lots of these watches. Nice movement. Interesting crown, too. Crown's even signed Bulova. And look at that, how easy it is to pull it out. Like, they really thought that through. I'm actually really impressed with the crown. I like how that sits on there. That's a classy looking watch. I tell you, that is such a classy looking watch, but nobody wants them anymore. Nobody. Serial numbered. That's a shame. I'm going to keep it though. I have a soft spot for these. And this is one of those clippy things here. Oh, I got that. Have I got that upside down? No, there we go. Wow, that's just atrocious. Don't have too much to say about that one. That's a Roots. That's disgusting. I'm going to put that aside. This is why I'm happy I'm wearing rubber gloves, guys. Globus. Not too much to say about that either. And I believe, nope, there's one more. One more in here. And, well, it's an interesting case. Unfortunately, it's not stainless or anything. But, big gray hands. Wow. Okay, well, so, wow, it's really hard to pick a winner tonight. This is definitely a treasure, the swatch. The other one, too. Now, this here, I'm really curious as to how much damage. The case is in really bad shape. I will do a video when I open this one up. I'll do that on camera. My shop's under repair right now, so I'll be doing it right, basically right here at my desk. But I love the dial on this one. I'm really curious how this is. The case is really bad, but I'm trying to get my electroplating set up. Maybe I would hate to change the color of it, but I don't know. That's just a lovely, lovely dial. Olivia, I've never heard of that name. If you've heard of that name, please leave a comment in the comments section. And I've never heard of Olivia before, but that is a lovely, lovely watch. I do like the case though. Like, look at the detailing. I like that case. Unfortunately, just all the plating has come right off it. I can say that this watch was truly loved. Like, somebody wore this for years. It's a nice leather band too. It just has to be washed up. Man. So there's that one. And the other one, well, we've got two other ones. The other one that I find is really good is the Bulova, the Benetton by Bulova, and the Timex. So I'm going to narrow it down. I love the swatch, but I'm going to narrow it down to these two. I think these are the two treasures. You know, I know you're probably going, yeah, cry, Mark, seriously, another vintage watches. But, you know, my company is known as Marked in Time, so I do like the vintage stuff. But this is going to look amazing when I'm finished with it. And I'm really curious what's on the inside of this watch. Oh, hey, it is running. Look at that. That means that the balance wheel is working. That always scares me. If the balance wheel has got a broken pivot, then it doesn't work. But that is running, which tells me that the balance wheel is working. And that means all the main parts are working on it. This is really interesting. I'm really curious to see what this thing is, what's running this thing. Anyways, so keep an eye for the video for the opening of this one. This one I'm going to do pretty soon. I'm going to be going away for a couple of days, but maybe either today's Thursday, so either Saturday or Sunday I'm going to put a video out on the opening of this watch. Look at that, it's still running too. I know it's not going to run forever, but it is running. So I'll put a video out for this one. Again, everybody, to my subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and I really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already and you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.